Hey, what's going on? So today I'm going to show you a very simple model to put an immediate cash injection into your business, into your coaching business. If you're capped at 20K per month, or if you're capped at 30K months, or even if you're capped at 50, 60K months, I want to show you a very simple model that you can use. And what's important about this and why you should care about this is that you'll look at people who work in the Philippines. You'll look at people who work in China, and you'll start to realize how hard they work. And it's impressive the amount of effort and time that they actually invest into getting stuff done. Well, why is it that I could just sit here flapping my meat hole and make 10x, 100x the amount of money? Well, the reason why that is because time and effort has nothing to do with making money. So what actually has to do with making money is having a leveraged format and model so that 20% of the time of the action taking that you're doing creates 80% of the results. And so I'm going to show you this model on the iPad, which is simply just a triangle. And at the top on the left side, we have coaching. And then on the right side, we have content. And then on the bottom side, we have conversations. Now, one thing that I noticed about all over $500,000 worth of experts I've hired, mentors, masterminds that were above 50K, 100K to just be inside of the room with all that data, or just programs, facilitation, spiritual mentors, all kinds of healers that I've invested into my future self with. I have streamlined and extrapolated the gold nuggets from that. And if you've ever had a successful client, you'll also understand how powerful it is to actually suss out where is the true value for the ROI on what I'm investing into. It's never about measuring the success or measuring the result necessarily by how much time is going by or how many calls there are, because quite frankly, your prospect doesn't care about you or how you help them or even how many calls there's going to be to get this result. It could take one call, it could take 12 calls. They don't care. They just want the collapsed timeline and compression of time to get to the actual true results that they want. Now, what makes this process different, okay, which gets solved in 30 minutes in my one-on-one sessions with every single new client that we onboard every week, is a deep dive into their offer flow business model. And this is reverse engineering their messaging from the offer rather than what's taught online, which I know you've been told many times is to just be omnipresent, post content incessantly, email a dead list, DM people looking spammy or getting tossed in the friend zone like a used Kleenex, or even worse, just flooding the internet with more content, hoping and posting and hoping and posting, and then hosting live launches only to attract tire kickers and brokies. I already know that, or putting ads into your business when your content organically isn't even performing. That just doesn't make any common sense to me, but apparently people still do it, and they double down on the things that got them to six figures, but will never ever get them to multi-six or seven figures. So with that being said, I just want to kind of pre-frame that because I understand the frustration and the aggravation of learning what's required to have the right process, system, data, vision, removal of ego, and also the right people in place. And so we, as many of you guys know, I've shared this before, but we went from a high churn rate model of a team of 11 or sometimes even 12 down to a team of 3 and down to a much lower churn rate, AKA a longer LTV, an LTV that goes on from 1.5 to 3 years now it is for the last year. But before that, the churn rate was higher because my clients would get delegated to an assistant coach. And so my clients didn't have nearly as much access to me as it used to be. Even when we hit seven figures in 2022 and 2023, that almost burned me out. And I was just so overwhelmed by all the tasks, wearing all the hats, just overwhelming with training and managing people and human beings and just feast and famine income. So I want you to know that it's not your fault if you haven't made as much money in last year, or even in the past few months, compared to 2022 or 2023. Well, that's because that model is so outdated, and there's still people doing the bro scaling model, but it leads to a lot of exhaustion. And that's not quite what especially even female leaders and coaches and experts in my community, path blazers, are about. They're about high leverage and getting the most return of investment onto every single piece of energy and every single minute that they invest into scaling their business past 7 figures. So as you can see, a lot of coaches, they're always constantly chasing the client acquisition treadmill. But what I found, after coaching over 5,000 premium clients, is that the biggest regret that I had was that I actually had forgotten about serving my clients and doubling down on helping them, over delivering for them, communicating that. Of course, you need boundaries and constraints on your time times the money your clients pay times the expectations that they can expect from as it results to access to you. But overall, assuming that you have your offer flow and your pricing according to the level of access that your clients do get to you, I encourage you to actually see that if you just pour more into your clients, we have an offer formula that is designed to seamlessly resell our current clients into something that is going to ascend them into something that's either a consulting package or something that is even more intimate, so that they can collapse time into whatever context that they're trying to or wanting to improve and get to in their life. Even if it's something that's not necessarily tangible as a result that you're selling in transformation. So this is the most overlooked aspect, is that many coaches forget about their clients, and as a result, their client churn rate is very high, and they're missing out on the easiest money made, which is 60% more likely that people who either paid you in the past or are currently working with you now, it is highly, highly useful to go into your past calendar and also into your community and actually just have conversations with them about their goals and, of course, what they feel like they need most right now to get to where they want to go. And so if that is, yes, outside of the scope of what you're serving either in a group or one-on-one coaching, this applies mostly to groups, you'll find that you can create a lot more cash flow and monthly recurring revenue just by understanding that principle. So as we go to the right side of the graph, I want you to also recognize that the content should do the majority of the heavy lifting, the education, without over-explaining, convincing your audience of the value of what you do, but positioning your mechanisms away from what everyone else is doing. And we have also this templated out in our system and our blueprint, but I just want to give you the high level so you can intuitively understand how this applies to your business. So the content is, you only really need one short format content platform traffic source, and now we use YouTube for long format content. But I see so many coaches, they've got the YouTube, they've got the podcast, they've got the book, they've got Instagram, Facebook, LinkedIn, they've got TikTok. Oh God, TikTok. They've got, what do they have now? Snapchat. They've got Twitter. They're literally just posting everywhere, and their energy is all dispersed because they don't realize that you only need one product, one offer, one traffic source, one delivery model, and one personally branded CEO who's living by example and leading by example. It's the 5 ones that most of you guys hopefully have heard of, which is, again, I'll say it again, one product, one offer, one traffic source, one conversion tool, one CEO that is of high performance, and a brand that stands out so that you can become recognized in your zone of genius. Like, that's all you need. But so many coaches, what do they have? They've got 17 offers. They've got 14 products. They've got the live launches, the challenges. They're just literally doing like all these platforms, and they're spending so much more time that is necessary. We've already helped 199 coaches hit multiple 6 to 8 figures. So we know a few things about a streamlined, organic, attract, convert system. And this is what I call my transcendent conversion system of how to get tons of your offers sold, but mainly your core offer, getting it in front of tons of the right people and getting your leads pre-sold so that by the time they even jump on a call, they're already ready to buy. All you're really doing is answering a few questions and onboarding them, taking the payment, and putting them in your calendar. So the content is important to understand how that applies to the framing around positioning your authority and positioning your work so that your prospects can hear the value as to how you're unique, how your community is designed, and also that you know their frustrations, their fears, their aspirations, and their goals better than they know themselves, and that you also are aware of how to parlay the pain points and the opportunity costs without being this aggressive bro marketer who's just shoving shame and guilt down their throat so that they buy. There's ways you can actually do what's required to make people aware of what they are missing out on without leaving them in a pile of shame, but also without facing the frustration that I see many coaches. The reason why they end up hiring me is because they said to me, they said, oh, you know, I'm giving all my value away for free because that's what I was told online by all these successful guru coaches in business. And so now that I've given all my stuff away online, my audience has taken it. They have not implemented it because they didn't value it. And now I'm left with not much to show for that because I literally gave all my best stuff away, and yet my calendar's still hearing crickets. And yet my DMs are still a ghost town. And yet the people who are engaging with my content and stories and or feed are literally just like my mom giving me a thumbs up and these other people commenting like, oh, you're such an inspiration. It's on my vision board to work with you. But deep down, you already know that like they're so not a fit for your highest proximity spaces. So I get if you're frustrated by that. I understand that. Yeah. Okay. I get that. Okay. You don't have to beat the dead horse, okay? That's called diminishing returns, okay? So content should do all the heavy lifting for your business and your sales and should position you as a category of one. Now, when it comes to conversations, just understand that, again, my influencer clients who have bigger brands, we also mostly work with people with smaller brands. But even those people, let's put it this way, I know kids who are 21, they have 1 million followers and they live in their mom's basement. So my question to you is, do you prefer to prioritize popularity or do you prefer to prioritize profitability? That is your choice. And so what I would encourage you to recognize, if you haven't already, is that without a conversation, there ain't no conversions. And so likes, comments, story stalkers and lurkers, people who engage, follow you, those are lead opportunities. Those are not considered leads. So if you are pounding the pavement with focusing on engagement, visibility, focusing on your hairdo and the quality of your gear, good Lord, trying to find the answers on YouTube University. I'm sorry to say, but man, oh man, you got a rude awakening for you, because that is just avoiding this underlying fear that all humans sometimes have, which is what I desensitize myself to from just knocking on doors, cold calling, cold direct outreach and direct marketing, getting rejected till to the point where my brain just became numb. Okay. And then I did a lot of trauma healing, plant medicine, all this stuff. But again, that doesn't mean that you're going to make money. That just implies that you're going to stop blocking success from you. Okay. This is called pressing on the gas and pressing on the brake at the same time. And that's not what I would recommend you to focus on. I'd recommend you to actually see that it's like the reason why I was able to sustain 80K to 130K months and not go under that within the last 2 years consecutively was honestly because of my transcendent sell by chat blueprint, which is customizable to someone's brand voice. Okay. And obviously their coaching services. But without these conversations, People will not book because, again, the buyer is so sophisticated now, and with the advancements of technology and AI, people don't even know who to trust. And it's because they're clicking on the link and then they're just kind of abandoning the cart and not getting on your calendar, or not buying your low ticket offer, or not jumping into your high proximity spaces, or not reaching out to your DMs. If you understand how to create a frame and authority and positioning, but most importantly, positioning, assuming you have subconscious beliefs aligned with next level money and you are a transcendent public speaker, what you will begin to recognize is that if you are just copying content because you saw it work for some other successful coach, that's not going to work, because the frequency doesn't lie. And also, it's going to smell weird to your prospects, because it's always going to be pointing back to the source in the origin of that, which is, again, why knowing how to communicate your story in a simple, effective way, okay, that is potent and clear and undeniable, you will begin to run circles around and walk past the smoking wreckage of all of these mediocre coaches who are playing so small and just in this neurotic holding pattern of, when I have the next money goal, when I have the 100K per month, then I'll be free, then I'll be happy. And you'll even see this to the point where coaches are sacrificing their core values of ethics, integrity, and true abundance and self-love just so that they can make a sale. But that always comes back to bite them in the ass, because they weren't being congruent to their own story. And this is how we're able to create package unique offers that are a category of one, so that your dream prospect understands exactly why you are the best solution for their exact biggest problems. And a big problem isn't what you may think is a big problem. The big problem has to be communicated in such a way that is a big problem to your prospect, because those are not the same things. Okay, think of the metaphor of you driving fast on the highway in your expert language, but then you forgot to build the on-ramp to the highway. So now other cars cannot get to the highway and catch up to the speed that you're at on the highway, because you didn't build the on-ramp, which implies you did not build the actual offer to make it not just at a high level of social dynamic and clout and make you perceived as high status in their eyes, but also make it relatable to them so that they can understand why it's the missing puzzle piece to the reason it's taking 10x the amount of time it should take them, or why they're just still missing the mark in terms of not getting the results that they've been wanting for such a long time, and not being deeply connected to the core reason why they want that result. Okay, so the conversation needs to be initiated effectively. It needs to qualify the lead properly to build that relationship and that rapport effectively. And it needs to position your authority so that they can understand that you have not just empathy for them, but you can create a relationship that is fostering the speed of the lead, so that they raise in buying temperature and go from, I'm kind of interested, to what? Committed, to either what? Jumping on a call for 10 minutes to enroll them, or just literally we have our clients send over a Google Doc to actually pre-frame and handle objections and answer any questions that people would be asking about that, or any resistance around pricing, or so on and so forth, so that they can have an 80% or more conversion rate. So just understand that conversations are going to be the needle that moves your business forward. And when you're having multiple conversations and you're making exponentially more offers than a coaching business that is only reliant on either workshop sales or call sales, you will again run circles around those people, because their conversion rate is being monopolized, just like their mental bandwidth is being monopolized from not getting the results they could be getting, because you're just making more offers to qualified leads. Like, you're actually qualifying leads for pitches that they earn, and then you're making more offers. So just by simple rational logic, it's really fascinating to understand that, wow, oh my God. So you're saying, Theo, that all I had to do is have an undeniable positioned offer that's premium, and I could just make more of those offers. And then that would imply that would increase the conversion rate compared to needing to book calls with people who are maybe not even serious or qualified just to waste my time. You're saying, so that's what you're saying. And I'm saying, yes, work the numbers while not treating people like numbers. And that's the magic middle way. So just to recap, it's coaching, content, conversation. The content gets to be 80% of the leverage of your time capital. And then the conversation is set up in such a way that you are able to, again, raise the buying temperature. And just to put this into perspective, our clients only need to be investing 1 to 2 hours a day to run this and implement this system. And I've had many clients who already had coaches, business coaches, when they joined us. So when they raised their hand for installing the sell by chat system and then overlaying the position offer code on top of their offer that they already had going on, they were very surprised at how fast their life changed, how much more money they had to invest into their mental health, into their physical health, into their spiritual health, and also just as an overarching benefit, the lifestyle that they could provide to themselves and their family. And it would actually illuminate and clarify the structure of the business model that was of highest importance to their next chapter with their relationship with God, those they love, and those they serve in their community. So I hope you like this video. Click the link below to find out more about the type of clients that we are working with and helping scale from 6 to 7 figures. And if you are a healer who sells transformation, or you are empowerment, embodiment, flow queen, that we have a lot of success from clients who are of that kind of avatar, or if you're just another business strategist wanting to learn the best systems and sequences, which are different from strategies, to take your lead flow from manual to auto, to make your sales go from desperate to audition position focused, that is leveraged, and also hybrid automated, and also take your delivery from time for money exchange, feeling burnt out, into leverage delivery model and access model, which is kind of like the new way versus the digital product model. And then lastly, you want to scale knowing that you can go to bed at night and just understand that you have a way to create a system to not just provide you financial freedom, but by nature and of effect, we call this nature scaling, give you the security at the same time. Then you'll learn in hindsight why so many of the coaches out there, or the entrepreneurs who are trying to make their social media pop and get the exposure and the recognition that they deserve, why they are focusing only on financial security, when if they just had a financial freedom system, they would get both freedom and security. So appreciate you. Stay tuned for another live. Make sure you subscribe and let me know in the comments your thoughts, and we'll talk to you very soon. Peace.